Hey everybody, it's Erin Reed from Erin Remakes, and welcome back to the next Card Making Wednesday. I have a really fun card. I've been in kind of a gift card holding kick lately. So we're going to make another one, and this one is super fun and easy. So let's get started. This could not be simpler to make. This is so cute. So I made this with an entire kind of like a sea life theme, but you can really have a whole lot of fun on the front of the card. So this one I'm turned into a square card, and all the dimensions for what you need are down below. And here is the gift card. So this is a pop-up gift card holder. Really cute. You ready? Open it and bam, there it is. So your little gift card is actually embedded in the center, which gives you tons of space right here to write everything you want to for your card. So just to show you again, we're going to build one more together just like this, but in some different colors, because sea stars come in all different colors. I just thought it was perfect for the beginning of summer coming. And there you go. So it's really easy. These are all using supplies from TLC Designs. This is the die set we're going to be using. And then we also use some of her papers. But let me show you how to build this card. It's really, really simple and easy. All you need is your paper trimmer. Ta-da. And sorry, I forgot to turn off the clock. Welcome everybody who's joined in. Hello, hello. And you need some paper. So what I have here is I have a 12 inches by 4 inches. If you wanted to make your card to be a different design, a little bit of a taller card. So let's say you still wanted to do 4 inches, but you wanted to have 5 inches tall. So just a little bit of a different. All you would need to do is make this part longer. So instead of 4 inches, make it 5 inches, or you can make it a 4 by 6. You can really kind of play around with it, but I'm giving you guys the dimensions to do, a little 4 by 4 card, and they're really, really cute. This does fit into an A2 size envelope if that's something that you're interested in, but it's just a little small, fun, cute take on doing a gift card holder. Okay, so open up your paper trimmer. There we go. And the scoring is super, super simple. Hello, hello, everybody who's got Sue, Danielle, and Annie. Hello, hello. All right, the first score mark you're going to make on your 11-inch paper, or sorry, this is 12 inches long. So this is the full length of a full cardstock. You're going to score at your 4 inches, which is the first part of your card. And I just use a nice good bone folder and my paper trimmer to do all my cuts. Next score mark is going to be at 6 inches. So hard, right? Just wait until you hear the next one. The last one's at 8 inches, but I don't feel like pulling out my arm. So I'm just going to turn it around and go to 4. So it works either way. Basically, you are going to make all of your score marks. So you go 4, 6, 8. Easy. And so each one of these scores is 2 inches wide. All right. I did not come up, well, I came up with this size of cut, but I did not come up with this design of a card, if that makes sense. Okay, so now we need to do all of our folds. So we're just going to fold back and forth on every single one of these marks, okay? So fold on all of them. I'm using just a few different kinds of cardstock. I just kind of went in my stash of cardstock. Some of these are close to my heart. Some of these are a little bit of everything. It doesn't matter. Hello, Tracy. Hello, Sue. Hello, hello. It's so easy for scoring. Okay, so here's the key thing. If I want this to be, so my paper actually has 2 different colors and tones. I want to have the lighter color, then we'll have the darker color be on the inside. So you're going to go valley, valley, mountain. You guys see that? So a valley is where it goes down and a mountain is where it comes up. Valley, valley, mountain, just like that, right? So this becomes, just to show you guys, here we go. This becomes the inside flap of the card, right? See that? So simple, right? So this is this little inside flap part right here. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that we stick parts together. Now, this is the key thing. You don't want to put anything in this space right here because that's where the gift card goes in, right? You got to leave this space open. So when we add our adhesive, remember, leave the inside open. Don't put any adhesive here. We're going to run it along here. And I'm just using my tape runner. Go as close to the edge as possible here, because we want to leave as much room for the gift card. And just to show you, the gift card just fits, right? We might have to do a little bit of some trimming, but 4 inches is perfect. And then we're going to run our tape runner along this side. Oops, I might be running out of adhesive. Run it here as close. I didn't get very close to the edge. Oops. Okay, and then we want to do right along here. And I could do this side too if I wanted to. All right. Oops, I got a little bit there. Now remember, I need the flap to go up. So valley, valley, mountain, or valley, mountain, valley, and then close it shut, just like that. And then stick that in. And that is our little flap. Now I got a little bit of adhesive on the back, but it's no big deal. So as our card opens, which truthfully, guys, this thing is such a cute card that you don't even have to put a gift card part in there. This would just be a cute little pop-up card that you could put other things on here that would pop up on the center. But if you cut this part open, it makes it really simple. And we're going to use the die to cut it open because it's really adorable. So we're going to get our front all decorated at the end, but we got to finish building the gift card part. So if you had a punch, or if you had anything, you just need it, or you can just use your paper trimmer and cut out a section. You can have fun. If you noticed, I did part of the starfish. So I used part of the die that I used on the front to cut out this little space. So it kind of mimicked the starfish shape in there. But you can do punches, dies, hand cut. You could just do a semicircle, a circle. You know, really the shape you do in this would be totally cool. This is a 4x4 card. The dimensions are all down in the information. I think if you did a 3x3, so just as an example, this is cut down to be a mat, a little bit smaller. So this is 3 3/4. Like my gift card barely fits on there. So if you go too small, it's not going to fit your gift card in here. Now you could always do your gift card this direction. You totally could. And then you could go to be a smaller card. But if you went too small, look, you're going to run into it sticking out this side. So I think the smallest you could really run this card to be would be a 4x4 and fits comfortably. Sorry about that, guys. The cuckoo clock is going off. I usually turn all the clocks off whenever we just got all these clocks. Short story. We just got a grandfather clock, and the kids have been just dying with this amazing grandfather clock. It's about 20 years old. We actually bought it with my in-laws while my husband was stationed in Germany. We went down the Black Forest, and they're moving, and they always said, because we were with them when we bought the clock, that we would inherit that. Well, since they're moving, they're packing everything up. They're like, we're just going to go ahead and give this to you now. So that was the clock you guys heard at the beginning. You're probably going to hear it do the chime at the 15 minutes here shortly. At the same time when we were in Germany, and this was back over 20 years ago, because we were married 20 years this year, my husband and I, he also bought a cuckoo clock, which we usually don't run, but the kids were just so excited to have the clocks go off in the house that it's been running lately. So that was a cuckoo clock that just went off, and you're going to hear the grandfather clock. And obviously the cuckoo clock is not timed correctly because it just went off, and I don't even know what time does it say, 5 o'clock? I think it's not timed right. The timing is off, and anyway, it doesn't keep very good time. We need to get it fixed. So cuckoo. All right. So the next step is we are going to die cut out the center, and then we're also going to die cut one of the shapes just to show you. So let me pull out my big guy after all the cuckooing. Cuckoo. This is my crossover 2 machine. I love it because it's got a nice big platform. I can run a whole bunch of things at once. So if you notice what I'm doing with my card is I am taking it opening it so this part is being seen. This is the flat part. So this part right here, this inside part. I don't want to die cut the whole thing, so I just open this up, and we're going to die cut right there. So the dies that we have, there's 3 starfish. There's the outside starfish piece, which is kind of like the mat for the starfish. There's the inside part, which is really pretty, which is what we're going to use. And for this card, just as a heads up, I use the outside piece. So here you can see it fits perfectly. For this one, I'm going to decide to do just the smaller one. So it's just a smidge smaller, and you're not going to see all the details on it. But what we're going to do is we're going to have just a little bit of a smaller footprint on the inside. Still works. The way to properly time a cuckoo clock has to do with the pendulum at the bottom. Yeah, higher it is, the faster it keeps time. And maybe that's what we need to do is adjust the pendulum. It's been a long time. Hello, Anna, and hello, Martha. Welcome, welcome. This last little piece, which we're going to show you in a minute, is how you can get some extra kind of design inside your sea star, starfish, whatever you want to call it. And then you get a few little fun little sea stars off to the side, which I use for grins and giggles. But for this part, and again, you can use any shape you want. There's no wrong way to do this kind of card. And I'm just going to place this in here. And it just gives kind of that little pocket, right? So we're just going to place that right about there. And then we'll run the top on. Don't go too low because you don't want to cut into, you want to have, let me explain. It's easier to explain. if you go too low to where the fold is, your card is not going to have enough paper to stick in. So make sure you go a little bit higher so you've got kind of like a place for your gift card to hang into, right? All right, so just you can go even less. This could look like a little fishtail. So very sea themed. Figure as we're getting into summer, you know, we're getting so everything beachy. I've also been watching all these sailing videos, so I think that may have something to do with why I picked a sea star as a as a theme. I love the beach. The beach is my alternate love. And then we'll run this guy through. All right. And as you can see, it die cuts out just like that. And I'm going to show you the rest of that step in a minute, but we got to die cut one more thing. And I still have, it looks like a butterfly when I pull it out. I think it's really pretty. I haven't quite decided what I want to do with this part yet, but I think I just love this kind of doodad. This would be so perfect for Christmas gift cards too, because you're right. Just change up whatever you're making, make it green and red and white, put a Christmas tree on the front. I mean, sky's the limit for this. No wrong way. I'm just in the beachy theme. So that's what we're going for. All right, so we've got to save our card. But before we put this all away, I have my card layers. So if you're looking at this card again, I put this right here, you can see I've got a white layer in the background, which ta-da, I've already die cut, right? And that's what the big die is. So this big guy. So that I already did ahead of time, right? I just wanted to show you how this works. Then I die cut out 2 more colors. And as you can see, I've got an orange, but behind that, I've got the teal. I think it just made, it's a fun little color. You can see it, look at it. And you'll see the difference here in a minute. You can see that teal popping through, but remember, there's a white back there too. So you can really play with your dimensions and having fun with that. So I decided for this card, I wanted to have the yellow facing up. So I die cut 2 out of this shape right here. All right, so I'm going to have the teal as the background, sea foam, whatever you want to call it. It just reminds me of the ocean water. And then there's this little guy right here. So this one fits in, and I always got to get this right. There we go. This fits in, and if you notice, it doesn't actually die cut anything on the outside. This is purely just for extra intricate decoration. So it's kind of like an embossing part inside the card. So we're going to place this in here, and there is a difference. So if you notice, there is portion of the sea star has those little scallopy pieces, and then there's parts that are not. So make sure you line it up. Well, I guess you could do it differently if you wanted to, but it's meant to go in like that. Now, if you wanted to die cut this all as one piece, you could take your piece of paper, place this in here, and place this in here and cut it. Whoops, see, I don't even have that lined up right. There we go. And then place that in there, and you can cut them at the same time. I'd already cut this one thinking I was going to use it for something else. And I just was like, I'm not going to double duty. So you can also do it separately. No wrong way to do that. All right, let me line this guy back up. So it's going to go in there. See how it fits nice and nested. Make sure it doesn't wobble and move on me because this is a perfect fitting little card. Got my handy dandy washi tape here. Got to get it off the tape. The decorative feature of this die is so cool. It just, like, you could leave it plain. There's nothing, this is such a pretty die just to leave the way it is. But you add that little extra insert in there. And I think Tammy does a really good job. She's the one who designs all these from TLC Designs. That's Tammy. She does a really good job of thinking, how can I make this a little more special, a little more fun, a little bit extra, right? Now we're going to die cut this through. Then we'll be done with the big machine. I like this one because it doesn't squeak. It's just big. It's a big machine, which is nice because I can fit a lot of stuff on here. All right, so let me get the machine out of the way. And also, I love it because look how small profile it has. It's so small. And you guys know I always have my links down in the information section. So there is this piece, and let me get the main card back out. Let's start getting all of our bits out here so we can start building. All right, so this pops out, and look. See how we went from a die that looked like that, and now we've die cut out those little pieces, and so we have all that little, it's like just, it amps up the die. And I always have to go in my little pokey tool. So it's really cool that you can take a die or the shape and just take, like, bump it up a notch. All right. These little guys are really hard to get out, but they're not, they're just, I know there's that special like rotary tool thing. I still haven't invested in that thing. But then you got all these little funny little guys. I think these would be really cute as little shaker bits. You could just keep all those little things and be perfect little shakers. All right, so move that off to the side. And then it's start time to build everything. So I'm going to take all my dies are done. I'm done die cutting, just to put the example back out there. All right, so I'm going to place this piece on first. Ah, my little guy, get out of there. And I'm just going to use my tape runner for all this because I really don't need to do anything fancy. Now, as a heads up, when you're placing this on there, there's definitely going to be a front side and a back side. The front side is the one where you're going to see more of what you call like the embossing or the stitching or anything. I don't know if you guys can see this on camera really well. I don't think so. On the back side, it's really not as obvious. When you're in person, you're really going to see it be more noticeable. You can really see that extra, well, on the blue, you see it a little bit better. You can really see the stitching on there, but when you flip it over, it's not as striking. So just kind of keep that in mind. So I don't want to have tape or adhesive anywhere I have these little openings. So I'm going to use my tape runner on the inside and just get little patches here and there. You know, go into each of the tips, the points. So, oh, see, there's grandfather clock. It's almost on cue. It's just a little tiny bit off, but not bad. Okay, so now what I did for this one, I should have done this before, but if you wanted to line these up perfectly, you could, right? And so then the only place that you would see the blue is through the little holes. But I wanted to have just a little bit of a shadow, just to see a little titch more of that color. So I'm just adding a tiny bit of a shadow, just like that. So just a little bit extra of that blue, just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit, just a little bit off-centered. And then don't forget, there's also the matte. I'm choosing to matte this with white, but you could play around with your colors. You can really have some fun with this card. I stuck with very basic colors because there was a lot happening in the die and I really wanted that to pop and just really show. Now for this one, I don't need to worry about where my adhesive goes as long as I don't go too far to the edge. Line up my, I'm going to call it, he's a very buff. I'm picturing him like these are his arms, right? And so he's very strong. So I put his feet down, his head up, and his arms, his very muscular arms to the side. And that way I don't screw this up. So he needs his little muscular arms to the side, his head and his feet down there. I'm calling it a he, but they're actually unisexual, asexual. There's not male and female sea stars. They are one and the same because they can reproduce themselves. Kind of cool. All right. Once upon a time, I used to be a marine biologist. Once upon a time. All right. Lastly, TLC Designs has a whole bunch of digital prints. And so you can see these little digital prints. This one says, "You bring me joy." And the sentiment it is from, oh, I had it written down right here. It's hiding in my stash. Well, it's on there. I think it's like sentiments or something. I wish Tammy was on. She could tell me. She'd be right. She'd be like, it's this one. But I cut it off. It's on the list of something, but it's just sentiments. She has a whole bunch of beautiful printable sentiments. And so these were two of them. I liked them because it went across the sea star and it just kind of bound everything together. All right, so let's build the front of our card. So the first thing I'm going to do is I loved craft because it just reminded me of like sand. I also love layering colors, and craft and white are two of my go-to colors if I don't want to worry about it clashing and looking like, why did she have that color in there? When I already have like 2 or 3 colors, if I start adding more and more colors in there, it just starts to look funny to me. All right, now we're going to say our sea star. Yes, they can regenerate lost arms. They are so cool. I love sea stars. I know some people call them starfish, but I call them, they're not fish, they're sea stars. But they have to, so just as a grin. If you cut off a sea star like this way, it can actually regenerate 2 different sea stars. If you cut off one arm, it'll regenerate the arm. So just as a heads up. It's kind of cool how they can do that. All right, stick this whole thing down. We're gonna turn this one a little bit differently. So instead of having it look like it's got the 2 legs, the arms, and the head, I'm going to turn it around. There's no wrong way. You could even have it go a little diagonal. I am giving it, like you could have it go like this, like this. There is kind of a bottom here if you look at it. Maybe we'll have it go like that. So that way you see the full design at the top, just for fun. And because this is a smaller card, a 4x4, it'll still fit in an A2 size envelope, and even though it's sticking out. So it's just barely poking out the sides, but because this is a little smaller of a card, it won't impede your envelope at all. So there we go. Oh, baby dragon greetings. Thank you. Ta-da! I couldn't remember. All right, stick my adhesive on here. we're going to line this up kind of right in the middle. If you notice, there's kind of a gap right there, right? You see that? So we're going to line this up right here, kind of in the center. And then I die cut out a whole bunch of some of the little sea stars, and I did them in the teal, the orange, and the yellow. Now, since this is a very yellow card, I'm probably not going to want to bring in any other colors. Since this one had no yellow on here, I pulled in some more yellow stars right there, right? So we're going to pull in some more of the teal. So I just like to tuck them just kind of in here, just like that. And then maybe a little orangey one. I'm just mimicking what I kind of already did. I'm going to have this one come on top right there. So instead of flowers that you could do in different corners, they're stars, right? Let's do another one right there. Just kind of layer them up. Ta-da! Just kind of fun. Now we're going to open this up, and I have 2 sheets I have die cut or have cut out. There's just matted white, gives you space to write on the inside of the card. And I'm going to show you how we're going to put the gift card in a minute. There's a little bit of a tweak you have to do, but we're going to build this guy first. Sorry, my kids' chairs that are next to me are very squeaky. I don't know if you guys can pick that up or not, but it's like Squeakyville. All right, so you have that. There is some really pretty paper. Now in this card, I use the bubbles. This card, we're going to use the waves. And it's called You Are My Sunshine. So she has these as digital printed papers. And you can see this one's got little crabs and sea stars. And we've got some other fun colors. So this was the color theme. I actually pulled this sheet out right here. And this was the color theme. That's where I got the oranges from. So I tried to match the orange theme. So I use pattern papers to pull my cardstock colors. And I do my best fit where I put them together with it and go, does it work? And I also could have done this really pretty kind of coralish color. I thought that would have been fun too, but I really loved the bright orange. And I also loved the bright yellow. I think the coral would have fit better than, I mean, there's some blue sea stars, but they're not that color blue. These 2 colors are definitely sea star colors that when I lived up in British Columbia, they're all over the place. And you also see really purpley, like brilliant purple. So I just pulled a couple of the sheets of paper. Just, oops, I forgot to trim this one. Sugar. Hang on, did I trim this one? I did. I had to trim this off. I forgot to trim. So we're going to flip this little guy over because I already did one trim and I don't want to pull out the paper trimmer. So I'm just, see, I'm a little too big. And we're going to, whoops. All right, let's put you back in your home so you're not traveling around my desk. There we go. So I got adhesive. That's a quickie trim right there. Use one to cut the other. Ta-da. Add your adhesive on the back here. There we go. There we go. And I try to line it up. So I pretend that this doesn't exist. And so I'm keeping it as almost like it's one line, right? Hello, MB. Oh, Canada, Manitoba? Are you from Manitoba? How cool. And then we're going to put our little sea stars on here again. Let's do the blue ones. And then a pop of another color like that. Just playing around. I think it looks better if you have a couple versus not enough. So, and I cut out all 4. So there was 4 dies. You can see the 1, 2, 3, 4. I cut out 4 in the yellow, 4 in the teal. Actually, I did 8 in the teal and then 4 in there. And so that gave me enough. And I still have a couple left over to get them all, right? So this right here, and I forgot to tell you guys this right here is how you do a sticker maker. So this is my little sticker maker. And all I did is I took these little sea stars, popped them in here, pulled them through. And then there's like a plastic covering. You guys have seen me probably use this a bunch of times. Plastic covering. You rub it back and forth, peel it off, and it turns everything into little stickers. So to try and put your tape runner on a little bitty thing like that is a pain in the butt. And I didn't want to have to wait for glue to dry. So that's what I do. Okay, now to get your gift card to go into the center like this. This is the last stage. Number 1, take a pair of scissors and the smallest little smidgen that you can get out of here. Tiny, tiny, tiny. Just snip off. I mean, like the smallest little piece, right? Because you got to get the opening for it to slide in. Tiny, tiny, tiniest little sliver. That's it. All right. Now that that's done, none of this has adhesive on it. And you could have done this at the beginning, or you could have done this at, at any point, doesn't matter. I use the actual gift card and run it along the edges. You kind of have to open it up a little bit. So you're basically making like a slot for it to fit in. And because I put my adhesive not so close to the edge, like I should have gone closer, you might have to just kind of open it up a little bit. So I just use it as, an opener. So And I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side. You want this to be a snug fit because you don't want it to fall out. Like you can tell, this is a snug fit. If you have, yeah, the X-Iron is perfect too. If you don't have a snug fit, this thing can really easily fall out. So that's why I like doing it this way. All right, so I think I got this all the way in here. Make this the front of my card. And then it just glides in. And sometimes, like depending on what die you're using, you might be like, easy to slide in. This one's got lots of little kind of little wavy bits that I got to maneuver it to get in. And then once you feel like it's in there, right? And it's not coming out. It's in there. It's really, really easy. So look how cute that was. Now you've got this little gift card that's in there. You can still write a little note, right? And the front of your card is really, really cute. You could also, if you didn't want to go this way, it's a nicer fit going sideways, but you could go this way. You would want to use a much smaller die. I mean, it kind of fits, right? But I don't like the openings, right? So just use a different die, maybe just a singular leg or something. But it does work that direction as well. I personally like it this way better. I think it gets a much more snug fit and it just fills the gap better. I don't know. I like it like that. You can make your decision. So these are just super adorable, perfect for summer. But again, you can dress them up in so many different ways that you could do whatever on the front that you want. You could have a Christmas tree. You could do a birthday cake. I mean, there's so many cute dies. Even as a teacher gift card, TLC Designs has that apple die. Let me see if I can find it real fast. I had it right here a second ago because I was debating. I was like, oh, end of your teacher gift. But so here's like the birthday one. So you could do a birthday one because she's got the cupcake. You could do, I just saw it in my stash. Oh, here it is. Look at this super cute apple that is on here. So you could make this card with the front part that is an apple, and then it would be like giving it to the teacher. It could be the beginning of the year gift. It could be an end of year gift. So many fun ways that you could do this. And you can size this to be a bit bigger. It's really up to you. Unfortunately, you can't go any bigger as a square card than 4x4 because of the length of the paper. If you did the method I showed you. Now, if you stuck 2 sheets of paper together and did it differently versus the peaks and valleys, then you could do it very different. So just a fun little card. I mean, and you can decorate the insides up more. I love that it's got a little something on there, but it's just cute. They're adorable. If you missed how to make this at the beginning of the video, go back and watch the replay. It is there. Dimensions are down below as well, so you guys can see what the dimensions are of where I scored. It's really easy, 4, 6, 4. Valley, mountain, valley, or valley, peak, valley, however you want to call that. And then everything is a 4x12 to begin with. So simple, right? I mean, and I think I have a problem with my color. The same color as the card. I match. I think I like the color. It's one of my go-to colors is teal. If I just don't know what else to do, I go with teal. I mean, it's even in my logo for crying out loud. So like that, the lighter teal, like all those kind of colorations, it's my favorite. But the sea stars with the oranges and the yellows were like really drawing me in because I was like, that's what color they really are. And I loved it. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. A couple of announcements, fun things that are going on. So here on Friday, I have another Erin Makes With. We're going to be with Art Esprit, which is a really cool heat sublimation product. They have these special pens and you can put them on so many different products that you can transfer whatever your colorings are. And you transfer them to mugs, all different kinds of pillows, ties, and they have special blanks that you can put them on. I mean, it's really, really cool. So we'll be talking about that on Friday at noon, Erin Makes with Art Esprit. So that is coming. And then there's another episode the following week. We got lots of companies coming back to back to back. Also, if you would please, if you were interested, I am going to a crafty event in person. It's one of my first events I've gone to in person in about a year and a half. And it's going to be, and it's open. I have 2 tickets to give away. I did a live video. It was a really crappy live video because I was all out of sync, but the information is in there, but I'm going to say it again. I'm giving away 2 tickets. I have 2 tickets to give away. It's in Texas. So this is really, if you can drive there and get there pretty quick, it is on June 3rd, which is a Thursday night. And usually they're $15 a ticket to come to the event, but you get a swag bag And all the information, if you say, come to it's a crafty launch. One of my friends, Laura Kelly, she is another fellow designer and does what I do, but in a different way. We all help each other out. And she has a new product launch with ThermoWeb. And so she is not from Texas, but she is making her way to Texas with a few other crafty ladies. They're doing like a big road trip to help launch all these amazing products. And so there's swag bags, there's giveaways. Your ticket includes a glass of wine. We're gonna all hang out. It's gonna be a ton of fun. I'm going to help them set up and get things organized for this event in New Braunfels. So if you're interested in going and you have the availability to come, I have 2 tickets to give away, and just leave a comment on that video. Hey, I can come. I know I had this big, long, drawn out thing that said, like, when was the last time you were at a crafty event? And then I realized, but maybe people are just answering because they want to answer and they really can't come. So I'd love to be able to give these tickets to 2 people who can come and enjoy the party with me. Plus, I get to meet you guys, which would be really fun. So I finally feel comfortable enough to go in person somewhere because I have both my vaccinations, and I feel like most people probably have them by now. And I'm just tired of being in the house because that's all I've been doing. And school's over tomorrow. The kids are done with school. Yay. One more day and then we're done. Whew. Actually, no, Friday. We got Friday to go. My son has his AP exam on Friday, so we're not quite done yet. Then we'll be done and finished and moving on with everything else. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell button. If you've not yet seen, I also have a join button if you're watching me on YouTube. So if you would like to join my channel, I would truly appreciate that. A link is down in the information section for that. And all the supplies are linked down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're watching from my channel, please head over to TLC Designs because they also have an amazing, she does lives on her Facebook. And if you're watching from TLC Designs, I would love for you to come over and watch on my channel. That would be super awesome. And I think that's about it. Now I got to go get my car ready because my 5th grader, who is moving to 6th grade, and that's here in Texas, they go from elementary school to middle school. So he's changing schools. They have a big 5th grade parade graduation party. So they gotta decorate up the car with streamers and balloons. And we already put chalk paint on the windows that said congratulations. And then we're gonna get in the car and do like a really slow parade through the neighborhood. And everybody gets to congratulate the 5th graders for making it through the end of the year, through the crazy year, and moving on to middle school. So gotta get prepped for that. So if you just came on, this is the cutie card we made. Truly, 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 truly appreciate you guys. I'm trying to grab my tape runner instead of my mouse. And I hope you guys have an amazing, amazing day. Please don't forget to stay safe and just create. Bye, everybody.